Hi, and welcome to the Digital Digging YouTube channel. Earlier this week, Gaijin released the future lineup for the British Aviation Tech Tree in War Thunder. I decided to put faces to the names in a video, and a number of you who saw it requested that I do the same for other nations. Well, a day or so ago they released the Russian Aviation Tech Tree 2, so here it is. Hopefully, within another day or two, I'll have completed and uploaded the Japanese Tech Tree as well, so if you want to be alerted to that, please hit the subscribe button. Right, fighters. Russian aviators have no less than 5 additions to the Yakolev line to look forward to, starting with the Yak-1. The Yaks have a fearsome reputation in the game, and even this entry-level aircraft packs quite a punch with a single Schwark 20mm cannon and 12.7 Berezin machine gun, a 1-second burst from which is capable of introducing 4.4 pounds or 2 kilos of assorted rounds to your fuselage at high speeds. The Yak-7 also joins the lineup. This aircraft began life as a 2-seater training plane before being adapted into a fully fledged fighter. It was a little slower than the Yak-1 and also suffered a number of flaws which, once ironed out, resulted in the development of the 7B, an altogether more confident craft which has been available in the game for a good while. We also get the Yak-9 and Yak-9B. The Yak-9 is essentially a lighter-built, more manoeuvrable version of the Yak-7, with its pilots considering it a fair match for the German Bf-109G and Focke-Wulf 190A3, A4. The Mark 9 is armed with a single 20mm Schwark cannon with 120 rounds and a single UBS machine gun with 200 rounds. The Yak-9B was a fighter bomber which could carry a payload of 4 220-pound bombs or 32 3.3-pound bomblets, though when fully laden with bombs and fuel the handling suffered badly. I haven't been able to find any information specifically about the 9B pertaining to its defensive weaponry, but I'm going to assume that we will also have Schwark cannon and at least one machine gun. The Yak-30 also makes an appearance, and this is a very different beast altogether. As you can see, it'll be going into the jet tree to join the Yak-15, the Yak-15P and the Yak-17. This is the first of the Yaks to feature a swept wing, and it carries 3 23mm NR-23 cannon with 75 rounds per gun. As far as I can tell, only 2 of these aircraft were actually built, both of which were prototypes, and by the time they'd been thoroughly tested, deliveries of the production model MiG-15 were already underway, which rendered this aircraft largely redundant. The designation Yak-30 was later reused in the 1960s for a training aircraft. There will be a new Polikarpov, the I-16 Type 5. This featured a smoother engine cowling, covering an engine which in 1936 made it the world's lightest and fastest production fighter, clocking 245 miles per hour. However, it only carried 2 7.62 machine guns, which many considered inadequate. Some 30 of the craft were, however, modified to carry a third gun, so we'll have to wait and see which version we'll be getting. There are 2 new frontline bombers, the Tu-14 and the IL-28. They're both jet-powered, but unlike the German Arado, they both carry defensive weapons. The Tu-14 was introduced in 1952, carried a 3-man crew and was used as a torpedo bomber. Around 150 of these were manufactured and were attached to Soviet Naval Aviation, the Russian equivalent of the British Fleet Air Arm. They were equipped with a pair of nose-mounted 23mm cannon and another pair of 23mm cannon in the tail. In terms of ordnance, they could carry up to 6,610 pounds of bombs, torpedoes or mines. The IL-28 was another 3-crew affair, again with a pair of 23mm cannon front and rear with 250 rounds of ammunition each and a payload of up to 6,600 pounds of bombs. It was introduced in 1950, but a number of air forces kept them in service until the 1990s, and as many as 30 of them are still thought to be in service as part of the North Korean People's Air Force. The pilot and navigator had the luxury of ejector seats, but the poor old tail gunner had to make do with a hatch in the floor. The lineup also includes 3 long-range bombers. The Ilyushkin DB-3 is the predecessor to the IL-4 we already have in the game, and although it carries a slightly lighter bomb load of up to 5,500 pounds, it carries more in the way of air-to-air armaments in the form of 3 7.62 machine guns and a single 20mm Schwark cannon, although it seems that these were not always fitted as standard, so we'll have to wait and see. Also revealed in the lineup is Russia's first and only Second World War IV engine bomber, the PE-8. Only 93 of these 11-crew aircraft were built, and they were, at least on paper, the Russian equivalent of the Lancaster or the B-17. But the PE-9 was dogged by engine failures and supply problems, and this aircraft never really had a chance to rise to their performance levels. The Tupolev T-4 makes an appearance. This is, as you should be able to see, a direct copy of the Boeing B-29 Superfortress. Entering the service in 1949, the Tu-4 only carried 13,230 pounds of bombs compared with the B-29's 20,000 pound bomb load. Though it lacked the B-29's 50mm tail cannon, it made up for it by sporting 10 23mm NS-23 cannon distributed across 4 turrets and the tail barbette. In the attacker and light bomber lineup, there are 2 new IL-2s, the 2-1 and the 2M, which also has the suffix of NS-37. The IL-2M was designed as a tank buster and comes with twin NS-37mm gun pods mounted under the wings. It still carried bombs, but the load was reduced to 440 pounds. Unfortunately, I've been unable to locate any information about the second aircraft, the IL-2-1, unless it is in fact the IL-21, which was a prototype armoured fighter, but its low speed resulted in the experiment being abandoned. If I find out more, I'll let you know. Finally, Russia gets a flying boat in the form of the Beriev MBR-2. It had a maximum speed of 171 miles per hour, a range of 930 miles, and carried 2 7.62 machine guns and 660 pounds of bombs, mines or depth charges. But never mind all that, just look at it, I'm getting one. Right, well that's it for the Russian lineup until I hear some news about the IL-2 or 21, whichever it might be. If you enjoyed this, then please hit the like button, and if you'd like to see more, I'd recommend subscribing to the channel. It's free and will keep you up to date with new videos. Okay, cheerio chaps, and hope to see you next time. Bye bye.